everyone, my name is Annalisa Walker and welcome to the Walker Farms Family Kitchen. I have been promising for I think almost over a year to show you guys how to make Scotch eggs, and specifically baked Scotch eggs. So Scotch eggs traditionally are deep fried. So essentially what it is the hard-boiled egg that's encased in pork sausage, and then you put like an egg wash over it and put breading over it. Again, traditionally you would boil or you would fry that in fry oil, but we prefer to bake ours, one, because we don't want to introduce additional like vegetable oils into our diet if not necessary, and also baking is just so much more easy to clean up and you don't have to worry about storing that oil. So today we're going to be making Scotch eggs. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 400. So now that that's preheating, next what I would do is I would peel my hard-boiled eggs. So I did make a video on how to steam eggs instead of hard-boil them in like water. It does make them a lot easier to peel, so be on the lookout for that. But so for this recipe, I have 4 hard-boiled eggs, 1 pound of Walker Farms breakfast sausage, a little bit of flour, some dried and minced garlic, and some thyme. And then I use these absolutely gluten-free crackers, the original flatbreads, and then I use my my blender to like grind them down. So it's really hard to find good gluten-free panko crumbs. If you are not on a gluten-free diet, you can just use traditional panko crumbs, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing against that. This is just something that I found that works for our family. That is really delicious. So first things first, so I preheated the oven, and now I'm going to go ahead and open up my pork sausage. So I went ahead, did that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of the package. I'm going to go ahead and put it into this mixing bowl right here. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of thyme. So it's probably going to end up being about, I would say, half a tablespoon of thyme. I'm going to put that in there. And I'm also going to take roughly half a tablespoon of this minced garlic and put that in there. And traditional recipes don't typically call for flour, but I like to put about a tablespoon of flour into my Scotch eggs. I just find that it tends to keep it all bound together a lot better. So now that I put those in there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to mix it up. Right, so we are just finished with mixing up our meat, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my own panko crumbs. So to do that, I'm just going to pull out my crackers from my box. If you are not gluten-free, you can just buy panko crumbs. We tend to run a gluten-free household here. And so I'll put about half of the box into here. And then I'm going to just put spin on this blender top, just crunch the crackers down. I haven't consistently found a really good panko crumb that I like. They used to carry Ian's panko crumbs, which are really good, but I haven't been able to find them in a very long time. So if you find them, they are the way to go for a gluten-free diet. So now that I have gone ahead and thrown these crackers into the blender, I'm going to just go ahead and blend it. Alright, so now that that has been blended down, I might have to make more in a little bit, but I will take this and the new panko crumbs, or I should say the cracker crumbs. I'm going to throw them in here. They are a lot more fine than a typical panko crumb, but we've found it's actually a really good way, or it tastes really good, so we're not too upset about the consistency difference. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab 1 fresh egg from the fridge. I'll crack it and put it into my bowl here. Next, I'm going to grab a shot of heavy whipping cream. I really like the consistency and the sweetness that the heavy whipping cream brings to the Scotch egg. Also, I don't think that's actually traditional. It's just something we tried one time and we ended up liking it. All right, so now that that's been sort of mixed together, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of time and I'm gonna throw it into my breadcrumbs. Again, I just feel like it's a good flavor. It's not part of a traditional recipe. So if you were looking for like an ultra traditional baked Scotch egg recipe, this is probably not the recipe for you because I deviate from it quite a bit. But anyway, so now I have my breading, I have my egg wash, I have my meat, and I have my eggs. My oven is already preheated, so I'm just going to set up my little work area. And then I've already taken a rimmed baking sheet and I've lined it with parchment paper. Now you are going to want something that's rimmed because as the pork fat comes away or sort of like comes off of the pork sausage, it might drain away. And so not having that rim sheet is going to be a mess in your oven. So you're going to want to make sure you use a rimmed baking sheet. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my eggs and I am going to put it here, and then I'm going to grab a fourth of my sausage, roughly. I'm just going to put the whole shooting match right here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I have 1/4 of my sausage. I'm going to flatten it out so it's kind of like a pancake in my hand. It's going to be moderately thin. I'm going to take my egg, I'm going to put it in the middle of it, and what I want to do is put it into like a little egg cocoon, and I want to make sure that none of the egg is showing. So I might need just a little patch there, but otherwise it looks like a nice little meat covered egg. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll it around liberally in this egg wash. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into my cracker crumbs. I'm going to get that really nice and coated. And then I'm just going to go ahead and throw it on the pan. So then you repeat the process. Alright, so now that we have everybody on the pan, I'm just gonna sprinkle some of these extra breadcrumbs on top. A little extra crunchiness. Waste not, right? All right, so with that, these are all ready to go into the oven. So I'm gonna wash my hands and I'm gonna go ahead and put them there. So I have them out of the oven. A general rule of thumb is to check them after about 20 minutes. The only thing that you really need to test on this is going to be the outer portion of it. So, because remember, the inner portion is that hard-boiled egg, so it should already be done. The outer portion is going to be that ground pork. So the done temperature you're shooting for is roughly 160 degrees. So these are just above that. You will see that some of these are actually like a little bit blown out, and what I mean by that is they cracked. And what that's caused by is like an uneven distribution of meat around the egg. They still taste great, they're just a little bit ugly. So what it looks like when you cut it open is going to be, if I cut it in half, you'll see it has a beautiful egg on the inside. And I'll post some pictures of what this looks like. So it's a beautiful egg on the inside with that ground pork on the outside. Really great for evening meal. Also great as leftovers for in the morning for breakfast. I usually pair it with honey mustard and then some sort of potato and veggie. Hope you guys enjoy this recipe as well as we do, and have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.